to put their hands in the air, and you need to just scream for the next 5 seconds and release whatever step. I'll start it off for you. Ah! Shake your body a little bit. Keep screaming. All right. Take a seat. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cam Franklin. I sing for a band called The Suppers, based here in Houston, Texas. It is myself and 7 men, and we travel the country and we travel the world together all the time in very, very small spaces. And we start off every show the way that we just started off this talk, by screaming, because it is the easiest and quickest way to release stress. And a lot of us feel like screaming in public might not be the most normal thing, but screaming and allowing yourself to release the stress, release the anger, release the traffic you got stuck in, release the text that you didn't get back, release the jobs that you didn't get picked for, and then be happy. So the topic that we're talking about today is restarting, and I thought about a lot of different things that I could talk about, but I felt as though the topic of royally fucking up would be a great way to start this Friday and be a great post-Thanksgiving discussion. I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I've had to fuck up, and so that's what I'm going to talk about today. In 2008, I was a young 21-year-old Houston girl making too much money at her oil and gas job, doing tons of fun drugs, tons of fun boys, and living my best fucking life because I felt as though I was invincible. I was 21, having a great time. And I had this opportunity from this band called The Very Best that were based out of Paris to go on tour with them. And I'm thinking, I can sing, I can dance. Yeah, they fuck with me. You know, they're taking me on this tour. Hell yeah. And we went to all these cool places. We did Lollapalooza, Pitchfork. And I'm thinking, this is it. I'm about to be famous. Things are about to be awesome. I knew it was going to go down like this. Writing in my journal, just going the hell off against all my haters, just having a great time. And I went on this date with this guy, and he was a really cool guy, and we decided to go on a second date. But for the second date, I kind of wanted my friends to filter him out, and it was the day before I was supposed to leave to go on tour with The Very Best. We get very drunk. This was back when this bar called The Mink was still open, and they would do $2 wells on Tuesday nights. And so when I say we got very drunk, I walked in with $20 and I left with no money, like very drunk. And we were all on bikes, and my friend had this idea to go watch Pootie Tang at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so, yes. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to take this guy to go watch Pootie Tang with me because I have to see what his sense of humor is really like. I have to see how he's going to react to this crazy ass movie, not thinking, oh wait, maybe I should go home and pack. Maybe I should stop drinking. Maybe I should act like I'm about to go on one of the biggest tours I've ever been on. But no, 21, invincible. And so we start biking, we leave the Mink, and we head towards Rice University where my friend lived. And as we are passing the music school at Rice University, I hit a bump on my bike, fall over. I'm wasted, completely wasted. I don't feel anything. My friends rush over to me, and she has like a little plaid flannel on, takes it off, and she's like, here, let me just wrap this around your leg so it doesn't get dirty. And she's like, can you get up? And I tried to get up, and she's like, oh, just chill, Cam. And she goes over to my date, and I see them kind of, silent talking because they're so far away. And they come back and they say, so we're going to call the ambulance. And I'm like, why? Are you guys hurt? Are y'all okay? And they said, we're just going to have them check you out, Cam. And the Rice EMT gets there. And she said, and this is no knocking to the EMTs at Rice University. She looks at my leg and says, oh, it just looks bruised. You'll be fine. I go, great. I got to leave for tour tomorrow. I'm just not going to put any weight on it, and I'll be good. And my best friend, Krista, goes, we should still go to the hospital. Thank you. And the lady goes, oh, do you want us to call an ambulance? And at the time, I had insurance. But at the same time, I was like, don't call no fucking ambulance. You got an SUV. Can you just take me right there to Memorial Hermann? And she goes, oh, yeah, I can take you. So thank you, Rice University, for that free ride, because what I'm about to say, I'm not very thankful for them. We get there, and I'm still hopping. They put me in a little wheelchair, and I'm very drunk, and I'm just like, this is great, and just kind of wheeling myself around. And then I look down at my leg, and I see that there's all these drops of blood all over where I've been wheeling at. And these two doctors come and they just pick me up, and they're very fine. And I'm just like, wow, I love Memorial Hermann. Everyone here is so sexy. While the guy I'm on the date with is still there. And they put me on this bed, and they unwrap my leg, and I see both sides of my ankle bone, if that's what you want to call it, sticking out of my leg. And I immediately, exorcist style, throw up on these doctors. And it's okay though. They got me back when they relocated my leg and gave me my surgery, my second surgery, and my first of 5 casts. I still went on this tour because I didn't tell them that I broke my ankle. I showed up with a walker that I had spray painted purple because those were the tour colors. And I sent them an email saying, I may have bruised my leg, because that's what the EMT used. I was like, this is not broken. And I told them, because the music that we were doing, it was this language called Chinchechua. The lead singer's from Malawi. I said, you don't have anybody else that's going to learn this music that quickly. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Actually, it might be cool. Just come on tour with us. And I'm thinking, oh, shit, I actually got away with this. So we ended up doing about a week, almost 2 weeks on the road. And I'm going in between purple walker. There's a few articles about this injured dancer that got up out of her wheelchair and started dancing, fell down, audience gasp, I'm good, stands back up, and then, finished the tour. But they couldn't do another tour with me in my wheelchair because it was expensive and hard and kind of impossible when you're trying to sell a dancing show, and I can only wheel so much and sing at the same time. And so I eventually got replaced by another singer and dancer, and it crushed me because I felt like, oh wow, I had done all of this work to get to this tour. And the funny thing is that a lot of people that have never heard of this group, they've heard of the people that they've worked with. They helped launch careers for Vampire Weekend, for MIA, for Santa Gold, Britney Spears, like basically any fun club, Diplo. Yeah, just, you've heard of them. But I felt like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Am I gonna go back to this normal life? And so I ended up dating that guy that I went to the ER with for a while, and we had a great time dating. And I got a regular job, and I did really well at this job. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, well, I guess this is my life now. I guess oil and gas is my life now. I'm making decent money. I'm having a good time. Occasionally I would sit in with friends at concerts and stuff, and that it felt somewhat fulfilling. And it got to a point where I was able to buy all of these things that I wanted, and it felt somewhat fulfilling. And I started realizing that it wasn't enough, because what I actually wanted was to be back out on the road, be it with somebody else, be it with my own project, whatever. I knew that this life I was living, while it was sustaining me and it was allowing me to get the things that I thought I wanted, it wasn't allowing me to live the way that I wanted. And so when I got the call to join the Suffers, I only thought of it as another way for me to escape, another way for me to find relief, because that's what it was. It was never supposed to be this, we're gonna go around the world and do this music shit and play these TV shows. No, we weren't living in a fictional headspace. We were just a bunch of ska nerds that had some free time to jam on the weekend. And the universe is really, really, really funny in a way that sometimes it gives you an opportunity to fix that fuck up. And so when I realized that the band was popular and that people were into the idea of what we were doing, I started pushing it to the limit. Okay, what should we do? What social media should we be on? Who can help that, might owe us a few favors? By a few, I mean like a few thousand favors. And so when we first really, really started working towards becoming a more professional band, we started asking for those favors that we gave out years prior. And it started building and building and building. And the reason that I keep bringing up the returning of those favors is it all has to do with the power of asking. And I feel like everything that we have gotten as a band has been because we have asked for help over and over and over again. And I've never been very shy about asking for help, because I know that if I'm going to be that person asking for help, I need to be prepared to also give that help back out. And the reason it's so important is that when the universe does give you that opportunity, a lot of people don't feel like their confidence levels will allow them to chase that opportunity. They feel like they don't deserve the opportunity that's being given to them. And self-worth is a funny thing. The reason that I asked everybody to have, what does self-care mean to you as the question today is because you won't think that you're worthy unless you treat yourself as worthy. And I'm sure everybody in this room has had days where you felt like you weren't deserving of the accomplishments that you got, or maybe you felt like an opportunity, or maybe a job or something that you were supposed to have that you didn't get. You felt like maybe you weren't good enough. But I'm here to let everybody know, just in case you don't already know, that while the universe might not work the way you want it to sometimes, it works the way that it's supposed to work. And things that you think are for you, while they might not be for you right now, something better is on the way later on. And for me, in 2008, breaking my leg, not going on this tour, entering a 2-year depression where I thought nobody wanted to hear me sing anymore, nobody wanted to hear me do anything anymore, only to have it come back in 2011 in a way that I never could have ever imagined. And now I'm here on a Friday morning, seeing a side of the sun that I usually don't really see anymore, talking to you guys about the next level. And so right now we're in the middle of a restart as the Suffers. A lot of people might not realize this, but the last 2 years have been some of the most miserable years of our career as a whole. We've had a lot of losses. We've had to cut a lot of team members. We've lost band members due to life, due to outside circumstances. But within the last few weeks, we have been able to see this whole new light at the end of the tunnel. And this topic of restarting has been so deeply rooted in my brain the last few weeks, because that's exactly what's happening to us right now. We're about to enter a new era as a band where we are about to represent the city in a way that I don't think a lot of people have seen happen before. And we're really scared and we're really terrified, because I can't ask Beyonce what happens next. I'm just gonna have to kind of figure this shit out. But every time that I've thought that it was over, every time that I thought nothing was going to work out, it always does. Hopefully this has made some kind of sense to you this morning. Hopefully you won't have to scream anymore today. I hope everyone here has a great day. I want to say thank you so much for coming. I want to say thank you so much to Creative Mornings for having me. And that's it. Yeah, have a great day.